Pro wrestling fans, welcome to Squared Circle Speak, your home, whether you're a smart mark, a casual, or not even a fan of wrestling. If you just want to hear two dudes talk about wrestling, you're welcome here. I am Ryan. With me, as always, is my co-host, Spanky Nathan.
Thank you. Wow. I mean, I have been known to make a mean sliced bread. Number two.
That's a deep cut. All right, so let's get into the week that was AEW as we head towards All Out after just having All In. Feels like I'm still not over All In, and now we're heading to All Out. So,
Yeah.
a big show out of Dynamite here. We had two championship matches, and other stuff happened. Kicked the show off with Daniel Garcia and MJF is in the crowd. MJF says that they start talking, and then Garcia tried to get to MJF. There's a bunch of security guards. MJF cracked him in the head with a glass bottle, and then MJF kissed the forehead of Garcia, who was all busted open. What is their obsession with licking blood and drinking blood and what?
Maybe they're all a bunch of vampires. I
They
don't
do
know.
this all the fucking time. Like, I don't get it. Ugh. I don't like it either. It's gross. I fucking can't stand it. Like, I think it's gross. Kicked off the show with the International Championship match. Okada defending against Kyle Fletcher. What did you
Well, it's not the international. It's the continental. But yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, intercontinental, international, whatever.
It was a good match. I mean, they always make Fletcher look like a decent wrestler. I don't know what. Isn't Fletcher a heel?
I thought he was because he's with Don Callis.
Yeah. So, not really sure what the hell here. I feel like with AEW's booking, like sometimes they want to do one thing, but they're afraid that it's too soon or something. Because this totally should have been Ricochet's match,
Yeah.
and I think they just don't want to do it yet.
Yep.
But yeah, this was an okay match. I think, like you said, Okada's probably not going to lose his belt till they do that Continental Classic again in December, which is still a ways away. So we're probably just going to see him do these random title defenses every once in a while.
Yeah. You mentioned Ricochet. He wasn't on any show this week.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with that.
I mean, he was on the pay-per-view, but he didn't do anything. But he was shown. So, but what the fuck? He shows up, has a match, and then is not shown again the next week. That is exactly what we were talking about when he signed.
Yeah.
And they did it way faster than they normally do, but they did it.
I don't. It's almost like they feed into these cliches. I don't know why.
Could you not have just put a video package or something? Had him cut a promo or something?
Yeah, you gotta let these guys. You gotta let the because if I know he says he books for the sickos, which I guess are the fucking the hardcore fans, and I get that, but you gotta do some things for the casual fans. I know you don't have very many, but you gotta do something to try to build that casual fan base. And one thing to do that is make these people relevant all the time, so that way they can get invested in these characters.
Yeah.
Because they just don't. People don't like. If you didn't watch, you would have no idea that Ricochet was even there.
Yeah.
And that's sad. So hopefully they figure that shit out.
Jamie Hayter made her return, beat Robin Renegade. I get, that's fine. You bring her back, but again, why bring her back to have this kind of match?
Because they're trying to build her up with squash matches or whatever. But
I guess I just don't.
They got to see this. I mean, I'm okay with that. At least they're showing her off and reintroducing her to fans, so we can see what her moveset is and see, why we should care about her. So at least they did that with her, but they didn't do it with Ricochet for some reason.
Yeah. Okay. Then we had the women's world champion Mariah May defending against Nyla Rose. This one was awkward. Kind of. I didn't think it was a great match. It was all right. But it was weird.
It was weird watching Nyla get beat up by Mariah May.
Yeah. Nyla Rose is good, but she works as a heel and the other person wrestling from underneath.
Yeah.
And this was weird because Mariah May is the heel and she did all the work. And it's just weird seeing Nyla Rose come have a comeback and work from underneath. It just doesn't sit right. It don't feel right. So Mariah May got the win. She actually hit a Storm Zero, which was crazy. And so Mariah May gets the win. But this was
I get
and
that, you know.
it was one of those matches where it's like we all knew Mariah May was gonna win. So like
Yeah.
the false finishes and stuff didn't really do much because it's like we all knew Mariah May was gonna win. So
Well, yeah, but that's a lot of matches. You know, it's whatever. But here's the thing. So Mariah May, I get that, you know, her thing still is probably for a while is going to be that, oh, I beat Tony Storm, and but how long is she going to be doing Tony Storm's moves?
yeah, I know. Like I can't believe she
Because
can't get her own moves. Like
yeah, I mean, because if you're going to keep doing that, all that tells me is we're heading right back to Tony Storm versus her at some point.
yeah.
So yeah, I would if I was them, it was cool for a little bit, but I think they need to cut back on the her doing all her moves.
Yeah. She needs to just be her own person again. Stop being Tony Storm White and just be Mariah May.
Yep.
Mercedes Monet came out with Camille. She said, I want to know how Hikaru Shida can call herself the ace when she isn't even the face. That was awful. Mercedes says she's the face of the company. Shida is shown on the Tron, and then Christopher Daniels is also there and says, Camille is barred from ringside. Why?
Yeah.
I mean, Camille hasn't really done a whole lot. And yet all these other matches, shit happens all the time. And their people don't get bored. Like Don Callis interferes in his people's matches almost every fucking match.
Yeah, it's just a way to build interest for this match, but it's out of just like there's no reason for it.
It's
Like
out of nowhere. It's just
yeah.
it's like I don't get it. And it feels like we're running, like we're doing this Camille Mercedes storyline like it's just we're just flying through it.
Yeah.
Like Camille's only been on TV for like what a month, 2 months, and they're already doing she's getting banned. I don't know. It feels like we're just flying through the book in here. It's like a video game, and they're just
Yeah.
all right. So then we had the World Trios Championships on the line. The Blackpool Combat Club defended against the Conglomeration. Blackpool Combat Club get the win. This was your typical 6-man crazy match.
Mm-hmm.
So then the main event here, Swerve comes out. Well, before that, the BC the Elite came out and attacked the BCC, and then Danielson and Perry got their thing. But then the big thing, Swerve comes out. They're waiting for Hangman. Hangman is on the Tron. He's in front of the house that Swerve bought. And basically this led to Hangman burning Swerve's house down.
Yeah.
Now, cool segment. I'm gonna give him credit. Swerve sold this like a fucking champ. And this was great. Good acting all around. But I feel like this should have happened last week. This should have been the reason why this steel cage match is happening.
Right.
Because the match is already happening. Why is Hangman? Why I go Hangman's just a nutcase now. I get it. But it should have been this is why Swerve's like, I'll wrestle you. Because you burned my house down. Now I'm gonna beat your ass.
Yeah.
Instead, it was like, hey, you're already Hangman's already got what he wants. He's already got a match with Swerve.
Yeah, exactly.
Why are you burning the dude's house down? Like that led to after this night, Tony Khan announced that this match is no longer just a steel cage match. It's an unsanctioned lights out match, which we talked about during our predictions. And it's just, yeah.
Unnecessary.
Yeah. All right. So we had 2 shows on Friday because the pay-per-view was on Sunday. So Collision started the night off with Lance Archer versus Mark Briscoe. Now we're going to have Continental Contenders matches throughout this show. The winners will move on to a fatal 4-way at All Out to challenge for the Continental Championship. So this was the first one of those. Lance Archer versus Mark Briscoe. Mark Briscoe gets the win. 11 minutes this match went. And yeah, Lance Archer just shows up just to lose. Same old thing with Lance Archer. That's all we get. Is he'll get like 1 or 2 matches where he'll beat some people, and then he loses in a big match.
Yep.
Every single time. So Mark Briscoe will join the Fatal 4-Way. The Grizzled Young Veterans beat the Iron Savages in 3 minutes. FTR come down afterwards. They get in their faces. And then the Iron Savages manager ate a shatter machine. Orange Cassidy took on Brian Keith in a Continental Contenders Challenge. Nathan, one guess who won this one? Orange Cassidy gets the win in 11 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, I think everyone on Earth saw this coming.
Yeah, they definitely were going to let Brian Keith get the win.
Then the next match, Nathan, the Outrunners took on Davey Bang and August Matthews. The Outrunners get a win. Their first AEW TV win. They beat 2 jobbers. They went from jobbers to beating jobbers. Let's fucking go. Apparently the Outrunners are super popular. Like their shirts are selling and shit. So like, hey, cool. But yeah, the Outrunners get their first win. They won this match in 2 minutes.
So we talked about this on WWE. I get that people are wrestling longer, like Shayna and all these Sheamus and all these guys are re-signing, they're in their 40s and shit. But these Outrunner guys, Ryan, are just starting in their upper 30s, early 40s. I mean,
yeah,
that's a little late, don't you think? They're gonna be like the first like DDP tag team.
I mean, it's crazy. Yeah,
they're gonna wrestle into their 50s. Like, what is going on here?
I thought it was like a gimmick that they just looked old, but no, they actually are.
Yeah,
I thought they just looked old, But no, yeah, it doesn't make sense, All right, we had another Continental Contenders Challenge as Takeshita took on the Beast Mortos. Takeshita gets the win. He hits the running knee, then hits the Raging Fire to get the win over Mortos in 12 minutes. Deonna Purrazzo took on Hikaru Shida. Shida wins, obviously. I mean, they're not going to have Shida lose before her match with Mercedes. After the match, Mercedes comes out. She stands on the stage, which means, of course, Camille is attacking from behind. She gets hit with a forearm. Mercedes grabs a kendo stick, but then she hits Camille. And then Monet gets hit from Shida. Shida sends Camille outside. And then Monet went for a backstabber, and Shida hits the katana, and Shida stands tall, heading into All Out.
So Purrazzo's just, what happened to her, man? Like it's what we figured would happen.
It's the same thing with everybody. And I know I get like you can't push everybody, and I completely get that. But it's happened so much where they come in, they get championship matches right away, and then they do nothing for a while. And then they're like, oh yeah, we should probably push her or him again. And then they get pushed again. It's the same formula with every single person that signs with this company.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen with Ricochet. He's gonna freaking challenge Ospreay because they want to do that match again. They want to have their gymnastics match. And then he'll lose, and then he'll fall down and just wrestle random matches.
Yep.
So then we had the All-Star 8-Man Tag Team Match of Champions. Now, that is the longest name for a match ever heard. It is Danielson, Pac, Claudio Castagnoli, and Wheeler Yuta versus Kazuchika Okada, Jack Perry, and the Young Bucks. 8 champions in one match. Feels a little bit like overkill, but what are you gonna do? This was just insanity. This was all 8 men getting their stuff in because they're all champions, so they all had to look good and they all had to do stuff. I mean, it was fine. But Danielson, Pac, Claudio, and Wheeler get the win. Yeah. Yuta actually picked up the win here. Why Wheeler Yuta when you had the world champion in this match? But Wheeler Yuta is the one that gets the win here.
Right. I don't know.
And this actually went into overtime. So Rampage was coming on right afterwards, but this show went like 12 minutes overtime. So this show, Rampage is going to be quick as shit.
Yeah.
So we kicked off with but yeah, so that was the ending of Collision with that 8-man all-star tag team match of champions.
Right.
Danielson and all them get momentum heading it to All Out. Rampage started off with Queen Aminata versus Missa Kate. Aminata won in 1 minute.
That's how you start off a Rampage.
I'm gonna go move for move. There was a waistlock takedown, a suplex, release German suplex. Kate hit her with a kick. She did a couple strikes. She got slapped, headbutt, cover.
Woo!
5 stars. So then we got Dustin Rhodes, Sammy Guevara, and Hologram versus the Dark Order. Hologram making a rare Rampage thing. I thought he was a Collision specialty.
Yeah, but Rampage and Collision were all at the same time, so
I think fucking Tony Konga's match is fucked up. He was supposed to put one of these other matches on Collision.
I
on
think
Rampage.
He's having Collision as the last show, so he put Hologram on here.
Yeah. 6-man tag. Dustin Rhodes, Guevara, and Hologram get the win over the Dark Order in 7 minutes. I mean, it's the Dark. I didn't even know Dark Order still had 3 members. I'm gonna be honest. And then I realized John Silver is still there and Reynolds is still there. So it's like, but Jesus Christ, the Dark Order is still a thing. What are we doing?
Yeah.
Buddy Matthews and Brody King took on the MXM Collection. The House of Black won in 11 minutes. I mean, you're letting the MXM Collection go 11 minutes with these great tag teams in this company. I just don't get it.
I don't either.
This was the main event, Nathan. Moose and Mansoor and Mace, they main evented the show.
That's insane.
And then after this, the main event segment was Will Ospreay in the back, and Pac got in his face, and then that was how the show ended. Not a great lead up to All Out.
Here's the thing. I'm okay with that being the last segment a little bit because Will Ospreay is probably going to be one of their biggest stars, if he isn't already. But wouldn't you want your last thing before you go into a pay-per-view to be with your main event? Like the main event segment for the pay-per-view?
I feel like that 8-man tag team match should have been the main event of Rampage.
Yeah, I think so.
Should have switched that shit around and had the Rampage matches be the first thing on the show of Collision, and then just did this first half of Collision. This, you know what I mean? Like they should have switched all this around.
Yep.
The 8-man tag should have been the last thing you saw before they went to pay-per-view.
I agree.
Instead, it was fucking House of Black versus MXM Collection. So we do have some news regarding a huge, well, I don't know if it's a huge lawsuit, but a lawsuit has been filed against AEW by Kevin Kelly and the boys. The Tate twins, I guess, are the real thing. They're being Stephen P. New is the attorney that is going this lawsuit. I don't know if this is going to really go anywhere. I'm sure it'll probably just be a cash settlement and then it'll be over, but I guess we never know. We will see if it actually goes somewhere with in regards to anything happening that's going to change wrestling. I doubt it. But I think they're just asking for money. Like Kelly was supposed to get a severance package and then never got it. And so he's
Yeah,
asking.
it's all just going to be for money. Like people talked about maybe that it would be about changing the contracts to where they're not independent contractors and they're actual employees, but I don't think that's going to happen.
But okay, and correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't that one of the focal points of AEW when they started? Was that they weren't going to do the independent contractor thing?
They
Was
kind
it?
of mentioned it in once or twice, but I
Yeah.
don't know.
So that's what I was thinking. Like when they first started, they said they weren't going to do that. They were going to be employees and they were going to get benefits. Wasn't that like one of the things they were like harking on? Was that they weren't going to treat their wrestlers better?
Actually, I think it was the opposite. I think they said that they were going to treat them as independent contractors and not employees because WWE, what they do
That
is they
might be
say
what it
that,
is. Yeah.
yeah, because WWE said that they're in, because that's why they get to do all these outside things in AEW is because they're independent contractors. So, yeah, I think that's what it was. I think, because if they're employees, then they would pay them benefits and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't think this is going to change anything. I think they're still going to be independent contractors the way they are. And these contracts, he saw how WWE did it, and it just makes sense.
Yeah.
And for the company, like for business wise, it makes sense. So sometimes it's not great for the wrestlers, but that's just the way it is. And I don't see it changing anytime soon.
Yeah. Also, there's a couple of new trademarks that AEW has applied for. One is AEW Shockwave, which sounds like a TV show to me.
Yeah.
Now I don't know if Tony Khan has reportedly kept saying that he's going to get a deal, going to get a deal, going to get a deal. Nothing has come out yet. He just keeps saying it's coming. Uh,
Well, Sean Ross Sapp, who everybody has a lot of gives him a lot of credibility. So it's it is what it is.
I think Sean Ross Sapp has more credibility than Meltzer at this point.
So he had a tweet where he said that AEW is no longer at the goal line; they are in the finish line. The deal has been set. We just haven't figured out the details yet. So
Yeah.
apparently they got the deal.
And Tony Khan mentioned that at the media scrum after All Out is that he said it's like we're gonna be sticking around, but he's still nothing official has come out. So until then, we got to keep speculating that there's not a deal. But Shockwave sounds like a TV show. Now, there's no way they're gonna do 4 television shows, are there? Is there?
Maybe it's gonna be like Ring of Honor Shockwave or shit. I don't know.
I hope, dude. We don't need a 4th TV show.
I mean, they talked about doing a reality show, but that
That
doesn't
one's
sound like
already. But name like Shockwave doesn't sound like a reality show. That sounds like a wrestling show.
yeah.
I just can't. I hope not. I heard this 3 shows is enough. They got 3 shows and most of them are bullshit. You had a
I
4th
mean,
one. What the fuck?
maybe they signed it for a pay per view.
Maybe. I hope it's not for a TV show because Jesus Christ. And then we have another interesting trademark for the clone and L clone. We're gonna get another fucking random ass wrestler.
It might. We might get another hologram type deal.
Ah, Jesus Christ. we got well, that's what he likes, I guess.
Yeah.
But then other than that, that's about it. Like I said, we will be having our all out review tomorrow. So we'll see what are our thoughts on that show. I know it's divided the internet a little bit, that show. So we will obviously be talking about that tomorrow right here on Squared Circle Speak.
Yeah. So if you like this episode of AEW Speak, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button to hear some more AEW Speak, and hit the notification bell so you know when we're going to upload some more AEW Speak. And we'll see you on the next one for our AEW All Out review. And we'll also have two more, finally, some special episodes for Thursday and Friday.
Finally, yeah, no more pay-per-views for the end of them till October. So the rest of this month, we're going to be just doing our typical reviews of WWE and AEW, and then the special shows we've been doing. So again, if you have anything you would like us to talk about, whether it be championship history, a certain wrestler you want us to talk about, old school reviews of old TV shows or pay-per-views, trivia, anything like that, let us know in the comments, and we will definitely be doing them because we need ideas now because we haven't done these in so long. We kind of forgot how to do them. So it's been all pay-per-views for the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So thank you. And yeah, we'll see you on Wednesday for All Out. And then we will be having our special shows, which we'll be talking about later. So see ya. And we'll talk to you next time.
All right.